Hey guys, well, I'm going for another flight. It's been, boy, maybe 9 months. I haven't flown since the fall, and just been kind of crazy busy. I've been painting the house, working on the house. I put in this big garden here. I got every vegetable imaginable growing, and it's kind of been taking up a lot of time. Also been doing quite a bit of stuff with the family and working hard at work. So yeah, haven't flown much, but I am going flying tonight. So we got a nice 5 mile an hour wind that should be dropping down to 3 mile an hour anytime now. So hopefully get off the ground with the 5 mile an hour and then enjoy the nice smooth air right here, right before sunset. So, well, let's see if I can get this thing in the air.
I was able to start my motor on the second pole, ran it up for a minute. These fresh breezes just seem so reliable. I'm so impressed with them. Start there, checking my wind, got just barely slight breeze, headwind here. I'll watch my flag there, wait for it to flutter around a little more intensely so I can get the full 3 mile an hour wind. And then I'll take off. I'm going to focus on watching my wing. If it falls, I'll run underneath it, but looks like it pulls up nice and straight, keeping my hands back so I don't pull too much A's. Just applying power and running it out here. Everything goes really smoothly. To my friend's job site, he's actually building these bridges here, and looks like he's about done. I flew over to see him a little while back, and it was a fairly windy day, so I was getting shoved around a lot, but this afternoon things are nice and calm. This 3 mile an hour breeze isn't pushing me around at all. This site, because there's the gravel pits down low and then trees up high, it really causes a lot of swirling wind to whip around here. So you got to be careful if you get too low to the ground. But I'm trucking along at a nice altitude, and like I said, very little wind. So wind coming to right to left over these trees, but it's very manageable in here just because it's only 3 mile an hour. When I go out on a new day and I go flying, I kind of test things out and get a little bit lower and then a little bit lower and a little bit lower and just see how smooth the air is, how dynamic it is. What you don't want to do is just go right 1 foot to the ground and find out it's a fairly turbulent day and get shoved into the ground. But today is actually quite nice. It's maybe not the smoothest day, but I'll give it a B+. It's a really great day. So I'm getting really close here. Having to play a little bit with the throttle. Really paying attention to power lines like that one there. It's a dead-end power line, but you got to watch because you don't know where those lines are necessarily going until you get closer where you can see them with the naked eye. Here I'm pushing up over these power lines. You'll often see my head dart left to right when I'm coming up to a road or a ditch or a property line, a fence line. Just like here, just checking to see if there's any power lines, because sometimes those poles are placed fairly far apart. Got an aircraft flying over here. Actually saw a helicopter and 3 planes on this flight. A little more than normal, so I try to stay nice and low because that'll be out of their way. Trucking up here to my friend's house. I'll see if anybody's home. Once again, a dead-end power line on the right there that I'm watching out for. Looks like they're all hanging out here on the porch. Give them a wave, and then I'll spin around and do a low flyby to say hi. Got some power lines coming up here, so I'm doing a right-hand turn, get some altitude. Then I see this nice little hill here, so I'm going to drop down and kind of climb the hill here slowly. You got to be careful when you do this because especially a lot of motors, like if you're flying a top 80 or something and it's lower power, you could get in a situation where you can't climb the hill fast enough and you can run into the ground, which is more of an emergency landing situation. Nothing that would kill you probably, but might not feel very good. Got some wheat fields here. Air's a little dynamic. I'm kind of bouncing on my throttle here, on, off, trying to get it low as possible. Actually nipped the wheat here, coming up in a few seconds. Have some sheep over here to my left. When I'm flying over animals, a lot of times I'll get up high, then I'll cut power, and I'll just kind of float over them so the noise doesn't scare them. My motor's not that noisy. It's actually one of the quietest ones. A little underpowered as a result as well. I love the contrast of these Haystacks, just floating over them and getting to be so close to them from a different point of view. Have some cows over here. We'll steer fairly clear of them. One time I touched a foot on haystack. That was kind of fun, just as a challenge. Looks like we got some kids that wandered over from the neighborhood. This looks like a lot of fun. They're just hanging out up top here. Quite a climb to get up to one of those things. Got a friend that just moved into a house right off yonder. Thought I'd come and check it out. It's pretty impressive that these sprinklers can spin over an entire field. This little grove of trees usually has some elk in it, but I'm not seeing any in there today. But I thought I'd swing by and check. Dodging some power lines, come down. One of the things I like looking at is tractors. Love when people have these antique tractors that they still use, using to bale up these hay bales. Got a hay truck here. My brother just bought a house on this lake, so I thought I'd swing by and check it out. Such a pretty spot. This neighbor has a caboose off there to the left. I wonder if that's like a bed and breakfast or if they just use it as a guest house or playhouse. It'd be kind of fun to have a little caboose on your property. Swing by these cows. Pretty close to home, so these cows have seen me before. They're not afraid. Home sweet home. Coming in, check my flag, swing around my house, get lined up, pointing into the wind. Wind has switched directions from the time I took off. Going the opposite direction now, so always check my flag. Clear those power lines, lined up for landing. See how close I can get it to my lawn here. So I don't have to walk very far. Perfect landing.
Well, I couldn't be more pleased with that flight. That was super smooth. Didn't make any mistakes. Hit my first launch. Just a perfect day. It's just amazing that, you know, you can have this hobby in your back pocket and then you just pull it out and you can just fly away on your little lawn chair and just graze some fields and see some deer, and it's just so relaxing. I have friends text messaging me because they can see me puttering around, and it's just really fun. So hope you enjoy this flight, and I'll try to get it posted here as soon as possible. Hey guys, see you next time. Bye.